The xenobiological research station on Dracon 7 hummed with its usual sterile efficiency. But today the air crackled with unprecedented tension. Dr. Caleb Morrison stood frozen before the observation window, his coffee mug suspended halfway to his lips, eyes locked on the impossible scene unfolding in the containment habitat below. 3 albino dwarf dragons, the rarest and most temperamental subspecies in the known galaxy, were curled protectively around a human infant. Not just near her. Around her. Their pearl-white scales gleamed under the habitat's artificial sunlight as they formed a living fortress of flesh and fire, their crimson eyes tracking every movement of the shocked scientists gathering outside. "This is insane," whispered Dr. Yara Chen, the station's lead xenozoologist. Her forearms trembled as she consulted her datapad for the 100th time. Those creatures have killed 17 handlers in the past 6 months alone. They attack anything that moves. They shouldn't even tolerate each other's presence, let alone sleep with a human baby, Caleb finished, his voice barely audible. Where are her parents? The question hung heavy in the recycled air. The infant, later identified as Leah Voss, daughter of colonial miners from the outer settlements, had been reported missing 3 days ago. Search parties had combed every sector of the habitable zone. No one had thought to check the restricted xenobiology wing, especially not the maximum security dragon enclosure. Yet there she was, sleeping peacefully. The largest dragon, measuring barely a meter from snout to tail, raised its elegant head. Unlike its larger cousins, who grew to the size of shuttlecraft, dwarf dragons remained compact, but their aggression compensated for their size tenfold. This one's nostrils flared, wisps of smoke curling into the air as it sensed the gathering crowd. Its companions stirred, their crystalline claws flexing reflexively. "We need to extract her. Now." Commander Reese Volkov's mechanical eye whirred as it zoomed in on the scene. The station's security chief had seen combat on 7 worlds, but even he seemed unnerved. Before they wake up fully and realize what they're doing. Caleb shook his head slowly. Look at their breathing patterns. They're not unconscious or confused. They're guarding her, deliberately. He wasn't wrong. The dragons had positioned themselves with tactical precision, one at Leah's head, one at her feet, and one along her side. Their tails intertwined to form an unbreakable barrier. Every few seconds, one would crane its neck to check on the sleeping infant, its forked tongue tasting the air around her. The neural scans are even stranger, Yara said, her voice tinged with academic fascination overriding her fear. The dragon's brain activity has synchronized. All 3 are exhibiting identical wavelengths, something we've never recorded in solitary predators. And the baby, her cortisol levels are non-existent. She's in the deepest, most restful sleep state possible. Humans aren't supposed to have this effect on dragons, muttered Caleb, pulling up historical records on his own terminal. We're supposed to smell like prey to them. Our higher body temperature, our chemical signatures, everything about us triggers their hunting instincts. But the data didn't lie. Somehow, impossibly, Leah had done what trained xenobiologists with decades of experience couldn't. She'd made peace with creatures that evolution had designed to be perfect killers. The station's director, an elderly Severian with translucent skin and compound eyes, arrived in a flutter of official robes. Explain this situation immediately. Caleb ran a hand through his disheveled hair. We can't, Director. 3 days ago, those dragons were trying to kill each other. We separated them into individual enclosures. Yesterday, we found all 3 containment fields disabled. Sabotage, Volkov interjected. We thought so initially, but the security footage showed the dragons working together. They used their acid breath to corrode the field generators in sequence, coordinated, intelligent. Then they retreated to this shared space and refused to move. And the child? Best we can determine, she wandered in during the night shift. There was a gap in sensor coverage during a system update. 7 minutes, enough time for a curious toddler to slip through. The Sevarian's antennae twitched with agitation. And she's been here for 3 days? Yara nodded grimly. The dragons have been bringing her food. Small animals from the habitat's ecosystem. Pre-chewed, carefully prepared. They've been caring for her. A stunned silence fell over the observation deck. Leah chose that moment to wake up. Her small hand reached out, patting the snout of the nearest dragon. The creature, capable of melting through reinforced titanium with its breath, nuzzled her palm with the gentleness of a house cat. She giggled. The sound echoed through the communication systems, and hardened scientists found themselves blinking back unexpected tears. The baby sat up, completely unafraid, and began babbling in the universal language of human infants. The dragons responded with soft chirps and trills, sounds that had never been recorded in their species before. "My God," Caleb whispered. "They think she's one of them." "Or they know exactly what she is," Yara countered, her scientific mind racing. "Dragons are empathic creatures. What if they sense something we can't? Human infants are vulnerable, trusting, innocent. What if that registers on a frequency that overrides their predatory instincts?" Commander Volkov's expression softened, a rare occurrence. "So what do we do?" Caleb made a decision that would later be studied in xenobiological ethics courses across the galaxy. "We wait, we observe, and we learn." The director's compound eyes widened. "You want to leave a human child with wild dragons?" "I want to understand why the most dangerous creatures we've ever encountered would rather protect her than harm her. Humanity has colonized 1,000 worlds, Director. We've terraformed planets and crossed galactic arms. But maybe, just maybe, our greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons." He watched as Leah toddled between her draconic guardians, her laughter mixing with their protective growls. "Maybe it's our ability to connect, to trust, to see family not in genetic similarity but in the willingness to care for one another." The dragons spread their wings, small translucent things that caught the light like stained glass, and created a canopy over Leah as she played. 3 apex predators, feared throughout the sector, had become the universe's most unlikely nursemaids. And in that moment, watching the impossible unfold, every being in that research station understood why humans had earned their place among the stars. It wasn't because they conquered. It was because they belonged. Everywhere, even in the hearts of dragons.